sorry. I'm sitting on rocks. Not the most comfortable, plus I've got to block out the sun. But, hi. My name is Samantha. Long time no see. Today is, I'm not even quite sure, it's Saturday. I think it's the 12th of April. Or maybe it's the 11th. Yeah, it's the 11th. So it's April 11th. And I'm sitting at my pond. And when I came in, I'm just going to show you. I don't know that you're going to see them very well unless I stand up. But there are a bunch of goldfish here joining me today. I don't know if you're going to see them, but you might. There are tons of them. And goldfish are very lucky and very symbolic. And they're all facing me because, well, I'll be honest, I'm an earth angel. And I'm a chosen of the 144. And, just sit you down. And I have missed them. Let me be frank, I have missed them. This is my first time in seeing them since last year. So, anyway. So why did I come on today? It's really simple. I've been going through a lot. And you don't become an earth angel and the chosen for anything. If you're chosen and you're an earth angel, that's because you're here for a mission. And you're going through things because that's part of your mission, and at some point you got to start sharing that as part of your soul contract with the world. So I'm here because I have a story to share and I have testimony. And mine today happens to be about a love story. So if you're interested in hearing about my story, the story of an earth angel, a chosen, who's trying to make her way home, back to self, stick around. I won't be able to do it all in one sitting, no. But I guess this could be more than a love story, but you're looking at somebody who is going to start it off as a love story, because I'm quite the lover. I'm an earth angel as love incarnate. I have a very loving heart. I didn't ever say perfect. Nobody's perfect. I've messed up plenty in life. But I'm a good person. And this is a story about me and my journey and the trials, the tribulations, the travesties, the challenges, the traumas, and the things that I've had to endure and heal And it's going to bounce around a lot. There's no set rules here for me in sharing this. But I have to start sharing. And I'll put this in too. This is a story still in progress. Still in progress. And I can tell you this, as somebody born a psychic medium, it will have a happy ending where I know I live happily ever after. That it does. So, where to begin? I guess I'll tell you just a titch about myself for the news, the newbies. Lots of videos on my life on any one of my social pages, but a lot of them have been torn down because I'm somebody who's been being religiously gang stalked for years and hard. But if you can get to Soul Pathways on YouTube, you'll see videos there. In fact, I can link it. I also have an Instagram account, but not a lot going on there yet. I tore down TikTok because they shadow banned me after I shared a lot of very truthful information. And Facebook was torn down as well. So, yeah. I am rebuilding a Facebook, but it's not personal. It's business. Nevertheless, I'm 50 this year. And I'm a single parent. And you're looking at somebody who's overcome a lot, but I don't look like I've went through anything. I look like somebody who's just an average, ordinary anybody. And most people do. They assume that I've been through nothing. Well, they would be wrong. I've been through a lot more than the average person, and I've overcome, to this point, 100% of it without a doubt, and alone, with only the help of my Father. I call God my Father. He is the only thing that has stood between me and death multiple times over the past few years. God. And I do mean that seriously. I don't mince my words. The gang stalking got very bad. And you are talking to somebody who's educated. I have a master's degree. I have multiple certifications. I am highly educated. I know what I'm talking about. I'm also an ancient soul with multiple lives. And I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to say my truth because I know exactly who I am. I know exactly what is protecting me. And I know I'm here to help. I think one of the hardest things about this journey has been how flipped everything was. And what do I mean by that? When we're born here on Earth, we're born almost asleep. And most people stay asleep. And we're taught things like to trust the hierarchy of things, like our elders and our family and our community members, and we can trust, the church, and we can trust our, I just said it, community, but also like the authorities, and we can trust like teachers, and we can trust our, our doctors, and even higher up, we can trust the government, and we're to fear things like aliens, and in fact, aliens don't even exist. If we believe in stuff like that, we're crazy, we're kooky, we're weird, we're outcasted, and we don't know what we're talking about. And you're talking to somebody, again, who's very educated. I'm not somebody who would sit around even remotely, even as I'm being monitored by monitoring spirits at 11:11 on my timer. They use ravens to monitor me. Google monitoring spirits if you don't know what that is. Okay? I mean it. Before you judge a person, always give them the benefit of the doubt. Become informed is all I can say to you. And I'm not even saying information is power. I'm just saying don't judge a person based on what you thought. Actually do the work. Look things up, because that's part of my story. A lot of people slandered and defamed me to an entire city, and that entire city believed, or at least half of it believed, a bunch of lies, and put me through absolute hell based upon lies. That's a good portion of my story at 12:22. Nevertheless, we're taught as children we can believe all these people, we're to trust them. But I have found in my story expressively that it was these people that were the ones harming me, that betrayed me and deceived me. Yeah. I'm somebody who loves Disney. I've always loved Cinderella and Disney characters, all of them. I mean, I owned all the Disney everything. I loved them. And I think what I loved most was how they always ended happily. Why did I like that? Because somewhere inside of me I knew I would have a happy ending. See how funny that is? Even as a little kid, I knew I was going to have a happy ending. But I would have to go through hell first. And I most certainly have been. So sorry. Wind did that, believe it or not. My favorite being Cinderella. With the glass slipper. And I can't go into everything, but I am finding out even recently that I might be adopted. But there's, I have to do more, and I have to have money to do more. So I'm waiting to go there. But there is proof on my end of having 2 last names. I have 2 last names. A crib card, which I've seen with my own eyes, had 2 last names. And then a story was given to me via my mother. And then there was another story given to me sometime later, unrelated, but speaking about the children in my family, me, my sister, and my brother at the time. And it kind of backed up the whole adoption theory. So, there's that. Somehow, when I was born, people other than myself knew about my destiny. They knew. And in fact, I think they knew more about my destiny than I did. In fact, I know they did. They did. Because there are people out there that I'm finding, there are actually people out there that hunt chosen ones down, and they actually hunt people down with certain types of destiny so they can swap them out and live their destinies for them. They do exist. And most people don't even know what's happening to them because they're asleep. They're called easy targets, easy prey. And I was considered one of them. I was considered an easy target, an easy prey. And it kind of ties into the whole love story, but you know, I can say this because there's so much to my story. I have 2 failed marriages behind me. I dated them, and then I was married a blip, like less than a year to each. I was divorced before a year was up. And I'm told, even by my father, God, it's more than just these people. I'm meant to be with a kingdom spouse. I'm not meant to be. He has me ordained to be with somebody else. So, I mean, anybody I'm with that wasn't this person would have never worked. So, how was I to know? I mean, I'm finding out that people were using spells against me a majority of my life to keep me from knowing who I was, knowing exactly who I was, where I was going, what I was to be doing, because they were trying to steal my destiny. And as I stated, I'm an earth angel. I'm a 144 chosen child of God, and I'm here to help lift the vibration of the world. And I can't really necessarily yet give you full details on that because it's still in action. However, I can say this. It's a big mission. We've all, well, maybe we haven't all, but I can say I have heard. The longer it takes for something to come through from God usually indicates it's a bigger blessing. Well, I'm 50. I've been on my walk with God since birth. And that's when my first trauma happened, at birth. My story with God began right when I was born. I have been being wounded and healing and dealing since the very moment I entered this life. I have a lot to give, and like I said, I do have education. God put me in a way where I could and did get educational background. Spiritual, I know I'm very spiritual. I know the spiritual laws. I know about the mind-body connection. In fact, that's my favorite. I'm definitely very eccentric, very unconventional, because I know things. I'm very good with the Akasha, and I work with all the Ascended Masters. All of them, actually. All of them. My love story, though. It's unconventional and still playing out. But I won't be giving names. And if a name needs to be given, I'll be giving false everything. You know, I asked my father early when I was just a child. I had like dreams, don't we all? We all, it's like when we're little, we're like, I want to do this, I want to be this, I want to own this, I want to have this, I want to be a fireman, you know, sort of thing. I want to fly to the moon, I want to, you know, we all have things we want to do, want to be, mine was always, you know, always had to do with a castle and a knight in shining armor and having my own home and not just living off of this person, but working from home and helping the world and, you know, making the world a better place. And yeah, at some point, you know, my knight did help me, but I also help my knight. We save each other. See, that's not a one-way street. That's a two-way street. And it's not done out of egoism, it's done out of spiritual love. In 2020, I met somebody on Facebook. Never in person. I've never met anybody in person. Yet. I've yet to meet a single person in soul of these people in person. I just heard that's about to change. I believe my father too. But 2020 was a rough year, you know, COVID and everything. But this was in a spiritual community, and I had been in that community for a long time. I joined Facebook in like 2007, so do the math, like 13 years I've been on Facebook. So I had plenty of time to build up friendships and routine and everything. And this person, this gentleman, fast friends is what I want to say. I saw in him myself right away. He had a gold heart. I have a gold heart. At least the way that's the way it came off. He was a very lovely reflection, and I saw this person as a good father, a very good father, and we didn't talk every day, but because he was such a hard worker, and I'm a hard worker. So again, like, we're similar in a lot of ways. And that was admirable. I admired that. He was similar to me. He felt like kinfolk. I don't even talk like that, but that's just how it felt, like you're kin. So it's almost like I right off the top adopted him. He became my soul brother. And before you know it, you're my soul family, confirmed by that noise right there. That was confirmation from divine. I'm seeing two lines in the sky too, which like twins, like, you know, just felt like we had things in common. But like I said, you know, I was a very busy individual. My mother was terminal at the time. I was caring for her, and he was very busy too, running his own business, taking care of his family. Married, I believe, but later found out he was separated. So I just, you know, I have very, let's just say, I have very strong boundaries, beliefs when it comes to men and dating and all of that. I don't deal with men who are even remotely connected to another woman. I just don't. It's complicated. If you've got women at all, if you're dealing with them, I don't want to deal with you. Why? Because if I was one of those women, I would be so hurt. I know myself. I would be pissed. And usually pissed because you hurt me. So, I mean, for me, they go hand in hand. I get mad when I get hurt. And it's not right. I don't know, in my mind, it's not right. If you're with somebody or messing with somebody, you don't mess with other people too. You just don't. I've never been a really great dater. It's just not something I do. That's why I just stay out of the whole dating circle. But again, that's another topic for a later date. Only reason why we kept talking is because he became this person who was several states away and separated. And I didn't know he was in a marriage. I had to go to God with that one because I felt very guilty at first. What do you do when, you meet somebody and you're not trying to be with that person, but you like them as a person, and you're like, oh, shucks, you're what? I don't prescribe to that, because if I was married to that person, I would be so upset with my husband if he befriended a woman. But then again, in the same breath, see, here it is, counselor coming up. That also signifies in me places I need to heal. And it says, well, don't you trust your husband? Because my mom and my dad, the parents that raised me, both of them had friends of the opposite sex. to my understanding, neither one cheated on the other. They'd been married 50 years, last I checked. My mother's passed now. But I'm going backwards in time. God rest her soul. So this is a topic I'm still working on. As you can see with the bug that flew in front of the camera, it bugs me. Because it is a place, it's an old way of thinking, and it's something I gotta work on and work out, and heal. Because I think it's something that holds me back. And if I'm doing it for other people, I think that, I mean, on one hand, yeah, that's friendly and all, but don't they need to do their own damn work? No offense, but if it's the same token, as a counselor, don't you trust your husband, or have you guys given each other reason to not trust one another, you know? Nevertheless, I found out he was separated, and lots of states separated us. Yeah, we both lived in America, but not in the same state, not even remotely. Not to my knowledge, anyway. I'll just put that in there, too. I liked him, though, it was only online. I mean, for over a year, it was just online posts within a community, and that's how we got to know one another. And nothing special. He was actually speaking with another friend of mine, hitting on her. I got two geese right next to me. Geese seem to be important right now. I'm not sure. 333 on my timer. Two. Anyway. So, I mean, and it was no big deal, because I wasn't looking at him that way, and I know he wasn't looking at me that way, so I was very busy. That's not how it was. I mean, there was a sense of love, but it wasn't that love. It was platonic for me. I know, you know, you can just, you know, when you know, sort of thing. And it took over a year for, I think it was, a year and a half in, he finally asked for my phone number, because he wanted to chat outside of Facebook. And that's how that started. And I thought nothing of it at all. Very smooth move. In the meantime, though, so that was in 2021. I met him like June of 2020, and like 2021, June, or it could have been July, my phone number was asked for. And by September, my identity had been stolen. Same year, 2021. Correlation noted. Come to find out, you know, could have been watching me since 2018. I didn't know. There goes my nose. But I didn't know. I was a good person. And I thought he was too. And this is my love story. In 2021, my identity was stolen and my whole world I mean, I'm not going to say that's when it really started falling apart. It had been falling apart for some time, which indicates the whole the downloads I'm getting that this has been going on since birth because I've been adopted. But my whole family really started taking a hit in 2000 with the entrance of my brother's boyfriend at the time, who then later became, believe it or not, my brother, adopted brother. Which in hindsight now makes me think about because everything started to collapse with the entrance of this individual, because he brought in a real horrific drinking problem. I think it wasn't just him, he triggered it. I don't think this was him. I think it was all unconscious. And then this individual happened to come from a wealthier class of person, and so there was that dichotomy as well. And then I remember this one time when he told me, later telling me, well, no, in the same breath telling me it was just a joke, but I knew it wasn't, that for fun or something, he would throw pennies at homeless people. I thought, that's horrible, because I'm currently homeless. And I heard the word breadcrumbing when I said that a moment ago, and that's exactly what was happening to me. Throwing pennies at a homeless person, which makes me think that there's the involvement of my family directly. But I do know that my love story, my story back home, has so much. There's illusion spells being drawn. There's so much betrayal. The people who started this did not want me to see things clearly so bad that they were willing to sell their souls to make sure. And they did that. They did that. So I lost my identity. I have the police reports to prove that, and that case was closed immediately. I mean, I was called like a day later and it was closed. Like within a day. Like the police knew, they told me they would never catch them. And then I knew right away that they were involved. I knew right away they were involved. And that was in 2021. How do you know that you're never going to catch somebody and they didn't want me to have any hope? Like zero hope. There was no hope. And I have the name of the person I spoke with on the phone, and it's like, how can an entire community of people want somebody gone so bad that they want them to have, I mean, they don't, this is what I'm up against. They don't want a person to have any hope. Are they that bad of a person? A people's? Because that's the way they're coming off. I mean, they're trying to take from me what's rightfully mine to have. And so far I'm winning. Why? Because I'm standing in truth and they're not. They're standing in lies and fallacies, behind masks and BS and slander and defamation, and they're breaking laws, and they're doing all the wrong things to cover up the mess that they've created. I never said my story was pretty. To be a chosen, to be an earth angel, usually you don't have a very lovely story, because your story is one foundationally where you're here to help others. And how do you help others? Usually you have to learn something or go through something. Well, I'm here and I haven't even gotten to my mission yet. And I'm 50, so that tells you it's a huge mission, and I've got an entire city or more working against me. That tells you there are all these people trying to make sure I don't do it. Why? But then again, I got people that do want me to do it, because they're starting to see that there are these people working against me, and they're not good people. People are starting to wake up to the fact that I'm not bad. And I give that to my dad. Because I'm not bad. I haven't done anything wrong. I didn't ask for any of this. He, meaning my dad, let me go through this because he's pruning me, preparing me for the next stage of the journey. And a lot of these people, they want the things I'm going to be getting, or they're jealous of, like, looks, or, you know, like I said, like money or things I'm going to be getting. But they don't think for 1 second about anything that I had to give up or go through, or what I have to do to have the things or to get to the place. They just think I magically was put here or given it or arrived. I've had my, and excuse me, for those of you with tender ears, I cuss. Oh yeah, this earth angel cusses, but I don't do drugs, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm celibate 15 years, I don't have a boyfriend, I'm not married, I don't have a police record, I'm pretty boring, actually. I don't even watch the news, I don't watch television. I might as well be a nun, an Amish person. I focus solely on my mission. I'm a very driven individual. Very loving, good person, but I swear, and I like chocolate. But, you know, I've been through a shitload. From rape and molestation when I was a kid. Shit, I was in 2nd grade before people were already probing my genitals. And screwing me up. And then, you know, the whole adoption bit. Me just finding out at 50? How would you like to be at 50 years old and find out your whole life was a lie? And then find out all this other crazy stuff like you've been cursed in love. And it fits, man. I mean, just nobody's ever protected me. I've not had one man in my entire life protect me. It's like I'm stronger than all the men around me. It's crazy. I didn't ask for that. That's just been the way it's been. And so that was one of my lessons. I had to learn to find balance. I had to learn how, and that's why I was able to overcome the infertility and have a miracle child so I could learn to be a mom and balance out my masculine and feminine. I'll tell you right now, I give it up for the single parents out there, because it's hard as hell to raise a kid alone. But try raising him or her all by yourself when you got a whole group, a whole city of people gang stalking you, trying to make you homeless, making your kids sick every other day so you won't work, trying to make you jobless, won't allow you to get a new job, my car, which I busted my ass to get, has been hit 10 times by 10 different people. I literally just got illegally charged by a cop and a judge in a court of law. A fee I should have never gotten charged for an accident I didn't even cause. That took my breath away. And this did happen. This is on record. And I find myself asking, is this freaking real? Is this real? Am I awake? I feel like I'm in a funny house. Like, for real. Are these people thinking they're really gonna get away with this? You just lied under oath in the court of law, both a judge and a cop. Let's just give it to God. I give so much to God. I actually pray for God. I pray for my father. I don't even know how that man, that energy handles what he handles. But give it to him. And then for those who mock God, oh, you're so lucky you're even breathing, man. That breath in your lungs right now, that heartbeat, that's given to you as a gift from God. You're lucky you have that. Every day I wake up, I thank my dad for that. Every day, first thing. When you don't have much in life, you learn to appreciate everything. Everything. When you can't afford groceries, when you have to go to a church to get groceries, and even the people at the church gang stalk you, you become very humble. I'm telling you, I've been through absolute and utter hell. My own father threatened to kill me. He threatened to kill me, my child, and my mother all in the same morning. And I saved all of our lives. The only sober individual outside of my child, who was 3 at the time, in that house. I was the one adult because I had been sober. And I saved us. My dad destroyed that entire house. He tore through. He ripped things. He threw things across the room. He ripped that entire house up. Like a child. Broke everything apart. I'll never forget it. It was traumatic as hell. But here's the thing. I made it. And I'm here. And I'm still soft. And I'm still kicking, and I'm working on becoming vulnerable and trusting and loving again. I couldn't love myself more than I do right now. I'm very discerning about who I let around me, though. That's a fact. You can't go through the things I've been through and still live in that area and expect anything less. I've been getting the message I need to move for some time, but I have to have a way, and I'm still waiting. And it's coming. And I know, because everything my father says comes true. Everything. The reason I share any of this with you is because I know many people out there have went through or are going through things that are just unfreaking imaginable. And I want you to have some hope that you can do it through me, because I've done it. I've taken down people. I've taken down families, groups of people. I've done so many things, and I've accomplished it wholeheartedly, healed it with the help of God. I didn't do any of this alone. Let me make that clear. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't have. This last one especially damn near killed me. That was my final test. And it damn near broke my soul. You're looking at somebody who had to give up her entire family. My entire family. I lost my mother, my father, my sisters, my brother, all my extended family, every single job I ever had. You're looking at somebody who had to give up every frickin' thing. It feels like the first 50 years of my life were almost for naught, but I know they weren't. I hold faith that they weren't. I have my son, and that's it. I have my son in the physical. That's what I got. Myself and my son. And they damn near are trying to take him. And I just held on. I can't tell you how many days I wanted to quit so bad. And somehow I just hung on. I said, I am fucking not letting go. I didn't come this far to fucking let go. Can't tell you how many times I sat in my bathroom and cried in the dark for hours. Literal hours. The first time I was gang stalked, it broke my damn heart. I used to think so highly of this community, of humanity. But it was a lesson I needed to learn. I don't regret any of the lessons. There was a lot that needed to go down that I needed to learn. And my father let all of this happen for a reason. I love my father, and I trust him wholeheartedly. But it damn near broke me. So if you wonder why I'm still hanging on, it's because I'm 50 years in. And I have nothing, literally nothing left to lose. When somebody comes this far, if you really think you're gonna stop her, you got another thing coming. You really do. Because I have something right in here that's so passionate. That's just for me. Mine alone. To give this world. And there ain't nobody out there that's gonna stop it. I don't care if I gotta do it alone or if somebody shows up. I mean, it used to have to be a certain way. No, not anymore. I don't care. I don't care how this shows up anymore. I really don't. I surrender to God every day now. It's part of my morning prayer. I have learned to just give the wheel over to Jesus. Do with my life as you want. I don't have anything, but I have everything. And if you know what that means. You get to a place where you just... At first it starts off as resignation, but then as you become more aware and you heal, it turns into something more valuable. Again, if you know. But you have to fall all the way down to get to where I'm at. See, I had to fall all the way down and then start building all the way back up, all by myself, through all these people and all this additional hardship and trauma. And I know there are others. I haven't even remotely talked about details or anything yet, just lightly touched upon the framework somewhat of my life. So, and I'm an hour in, over. I'm gonna leave it there for now, and we'll pick up again tomorrow, because I'll tell you, that cry just zapped my energy. It really did. I need to rejuvenate myself. But for those of you watching, if any of this resonates, if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling beat up, if you're feeling like you're on a road and you don't know where you're going, if you're feeling blocked, used, abused, if you're feeling like you thought you knew who you were, or you thought you knew who they were, or you don't know if you can trust anybody, you're in the right spot. Because I went through all of that. And guess what? That's a human condition. And it's temporary. It's temporary. The one thing I can tell you about this world is nothing is static. Everything is constantly moving around and shifting. It's nebulous. It's constantly in flux. And that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. As long as you stay aware of it. And if you are aware of it, then you're conscious enough to know maybe that you have a say of how this ends for you. And with that, I'm going to tell you I love you. I'm not somebody who's afraid of what others think. I do love you. People don't say it enough. This world has become something I just do not understand. But from me to you, know you're enough. Know you're needed. And I hope blessings flow to you and through you in all ways. Always. I love you. Until tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.